All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're gonna be starting the pivot back up. I've had to get some leaks fixed, had to get a new standpipe fixed. I've been having plumbing problems this whole year, so hopefully we got it worked out. So now I'm gonna start the pivot back up and get it running on this corn, and then I will get it back on the Milo once I put 2 inches on this corn. I'll be putting an inch. It'll go to where it stops. That'll be an inch across it, and it's gonna come back and put another inch, and then I'll be done with the corn. I'll put a 3/4 of an inch so the pivot will go a little faster across this. It'll get through this in about 4 days, and then it'll be back on the corn. That way I don't kind of flood that corn out and it still gets its water and everything, and hopefully I can make both the corn crop and a Milo crop. We've actually had help this year. We've been getting quite a good rains here and there, so I haven't had to run it too much this year, but this is the time of year where it needs to be going 24/7. So we're gonna get it started. We're gonna take the Ranger and go start most of the wells. Come here and I'll show y'all how I do my booster pump. Go start the other wells and then go from there. So I'm gonna unload the Ranger, get all my stuff in it, go to the first well, show y'all how I turn the wells on and crap. So yeah. We're also gonna work on my swather. I went and did a belling job, and it needs all new turtles, all new cutting edges and everything. So I went and picked up all the parts today. So we're gonna try to rebuild the front end of that. And keep in mind it is 103 degrees today, so I'll have to do a little bit, take a break, do a little bit, take a break. But it shouldn't be too bad. So that's what we're gonna do. Edit that out. The one good thing about this Ranger is it does have AC. If I was going to be using it as much as I do, spraying all the wells around the farms, starting all the pivots around the farms, checking all the waters around the farms, using it when it rains, I needed something with AC, so I got it now. For those of you that are asking, I did have to claim insurance on my cotton. It came up kind of crappy, and then it got held on, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I did turn around and put it in corn. So I put about 200 acres in corn and 200 acres in Milo. I don't have enough water to do the whole 400 acres in corn, and so that's how I divided it up, and I still get the use out of the fertilizer I put down for the cotton. So that's why I have corn. Don't usually do corn, but this is actually my first time ever growing corn. So we're gonna see how good that goes. I got a lot of people in my ear telling me how to do it, and around here I guess the average is about 200 bushel, 160, 170 to 200 bushel. With the water that I have, I should hit 200 bushel corn. So that should work out pretty good. But again, won't know until we get it cut, and hopefully it comes up and the weather cooperates and everything like that. So I'm gonna go to the next one. So you kind of start every single one of these pivots different. Or yeah, every single pivot different. But the main one of this one is turning your box on, pressing the button. You'll hear it pop on this certain well. The pump's way over here. I don't know why they put the box way over there and the pump way over here. I do not know. It takes a while for the water to get to the cap. Don't know if you saw that, but it came through. So it takes a little bit, not too much. I have 9 wells on this place, and I'm pumping roughly 950 gallons. You go 2 hours north, they got 1 well pumping 1,800 gallons. But that's where I live. That's where I got my farmland. There's a hole right there too. And the chemical I have in my tank will not kill this Johnson grass just yet. So I am waiting on that chemical to come in, and hopefully I could get rid of quite a bit of this Johnson grass that's been growing around my wells, and it won't kill my corn or Milo. We're gonna hope for it. Don't know if it's gonna work or not. My plan is to, when we get done cutting the corn in Milo, cutting it for grain, I'm gonna come through and bale it up. We bale quite a bit of acres of corn and Milo in the winter for everybody else. So I'm gonna go through and do that, so it'll be a little added extra income. So hopefully it'll make me a little bit of money. We'll see though. But the corn is looking very, very good. It's had about 9 inches on it with me watering it with the rain we've got. I've only watered it once before I had all the problems with the plumbing. So it's doing pretty good for that. The Milo is looking really good. It's a dryland variety, so I don't see me having too much problems with it, getting it to come up and getting it to make a little bit. Milo's not worth a whole lot, but you can still make quite a bit of money for as much as it costs. As much as you sell it for, and then how much the seed costs. On this well, what I always like to do is when the water comes up, it just came up. I like to open this. I like to keep this full. I like to keep that stock tank full just a little bit. Last time we had a big windstorm, this blue tank was way over there. I mean, we had like 70-mile-per-hour winds, but so I keep a little bit of water in it now to kind of keep it on the ground. Another project coming up that y'all will probably see is we're gonna go around this well, pick up all the concrete, pick up everything around here. Right in here, they buried an old house that used to sit right over there, kind of where it didn't come up Milo, kind of right in there. They used to have a house, and so I constantly getting concrete chunks, big rocks, like just chunks like this in it. So project this year was we're gonna walk through here and pick all this up and put it in the back of the pickup and take it somewhere else. I mean, we got bricks. We had have a whole telephone pole buried underneath there that we found when we were digging up a plumbing issue last year. So we're gonna get all that fixed. We're gonna go around all the wells and fix all the holes and everything. I should have enough time to do that this year. With it raining and then getting dry, we're pretty well caught up, so I should have enough time to do it. I got me a good hired hand that he'll come out here and help me do it, so it's gonna get done one way or another, I guess. What I did different this year is I skipped these couple of rows just so it gives me a place to drive down to, and it doesn't run over that Milo, and it doesn't run over the corn. I got to keep it clean throughout the year, but that's not hard. I got that little tractor and it fits perfect inside here. My Ranger fits perfect. Everything just fits perfect inside here. And as you can see, a truck fits pretty dang good in here too, so. But that Milo is looking really good, minus the sprinkler ruts. I got all my parts in here to fix my kind of pivot ruts. But so yeah. Now that we're over here on the pivot, the center of it, we wait for the water to get to this stand-up pipe. So those 3 wells that I just turned on goes from over there to the one in the middle over here to the one that we just came down that little road where I didn't plant, and it comes straight into the pipe. And then my other ones go connect together and then come straight in. So to get this to work how it should work, I turn those 3 on, wait for the water to get in, turn the booster pump on, and then go start the rest. Wait for them to come in, and then adjust how I need to adjust. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm coming back to level this out. So we put in a new water line that goes from the stand-up pipe to the stand-up pipe down there. There's a well actually right there. So it goes from that stand-up pipe to here and just makes everything flow better. When you do a booster pump, you do have to have a stand-up pipe. This is how we did the booster pump. That's pretty much what it is that blue and gold thing. So I had them come out here, put the booster pump on. For the people that like the pond is no more. It's basically gonna be a big junk pile. All these water leaks and everything I've been having, the pipe that's been coming out of it that we've been replacing, I've been throwing in there. And that catwalk, the hydraulic motor, the electric motor, all that's gonna be for sale. If you want it, come let me know. Fucking $200 and it's sold, I don't care. That didn't sound good. So, anyway, I had them put me on a flow meter. I still need to call and figure out how I could get the numbers on that flow meter to come to the box so I could get it on my phone. Since I do live 30 minutes away, that'd be nice to know. And also, we found out one flaw when we did this that we're gonna fix on this stand-up pipe. We're gonna come out, we're gonna cut this off. Yes, I know it screws on. We're cutting it off down here. We're gonna put it up to where it goes about 8 foot tall, where it barely, where's it at? Barely touches the pivot, where it's not gonna touch the pivot. It's gonna come up, it's gonna go over, and it's gonna drop into the pond. So, say the booster pump quits, the pivot gets stuck and I need to turn it off or whatever, and I can't get up here for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever, all that water will come up out of here into the pond. Yes, I will have wasted all that water, yes, but it does prevent it from getting too much pressure on the water line and busting my water lines like I've been having problems with. So that will be getting fixed here in the next week or two. And like I said, this is going to come up and over, and we're going to dig a little trench so it goes into there better. And hopefully I'll have all that cleaned out so it'll actually look good. And therefore, if I really wanted to, I could fill the pond up and make it that way. Or we've also thought about digging in on the end over there, putting a little pipe out there to where I could turn it on and off and fill up the pond. If I ever buy this place, I want to. So I can fill the pond up and put fish in there and have it as a little fishing hole. I could put me up a little cabin, or I could put me up a cabin on that side because the pivot don't go over there. So, and I got to come through here and smooth this out with the little tractor while I have it up here, and a whole bunch of good stuff. And it does take a while for the water to get here. I did get a well fixed, so I need to open this all the way up. It's pretty simple. You just go to the open. That's all the way open. When I have a well off, I have to go there. When I have 2 off, I have to go to there. So I had 2 wells broke, not working, but I was still able to run the pivot at the PSI I needed to. I just had to run it slower until they got out here to work on it. That right there is my PSI gauge. We're gonna flip it up. We kind of did this all at the last minute, and so this winter I'm gonna have it all set up right the way I want to. But it's gonna be up to where you could see it, and it's showing the PSI that's going up through the tube. That's my flow meter. And then I also got on the back side, I don't know if y'all can see that, a chem valve, and it goes down into my fertilizer pump, goes to my fertilizer tank. So I will be putting fertilizer on the corn that's in here when it's about a little less than chest high is what they told me. So I bet it likes another 2 or 3 weeks before I need to really add on that fertilizer. It'll go through that, what is it, 2,600 gallons? Let's just see real quick. About 2,700 gallons. And then I'll put more nitrogen in it and do it all over again. That should be all the fertilizer it needs. And then, when I get this empty the first time, we're going to be on the ball when it's empty. Turn it off. Move this whole tank out of the way. On the ground it's sitting on, we're going to completely smooth it out. And from the concrete base of the pivot, we're pouring concrete. So this will sit on concrete now. And I don't have to worry about it tilting like how it's tilted right now. We're going to build that concrete pad. Probably big enough to fit 2 of them on there. Just in case I want to bring one over here. If I buy another one to fit on here. Or I'm working on trying to buy another pivot. So if I'm growing corn on this one and cotton on that one, I can bring both tanks over here and pump that fertilizer out at the same time. And I won't have to worry about it. So, yeah. Tanks aren't that expensive for what they are. They're really not that expensive. So that's going to be our goal. And yeah, we're going to see how this goes. See if the water got here yet. You can't hear it. So what I usually do when it takes a while, I'll go start this first. I'm just going to drive over there. I don't know how I'm walking. I'm going to go start that first well and get it started. Come back over here and see what happens. I might go ahead and start my booster pump. When I had those leaks, they drained it out pretty good, so I knew it was going to take a while. Then when I get done starting this pivot, I got to go around and spray a couple of stuff with the sprayer in the back real quick. I have more weeds popping up that the chemical didn't kill. We've been having a hard time killing stuff here recently. So I'll do that and then see what happens. We'll be coming out here in a day or so and we're gonna disc all this old wheat ground I had that I got cut. We're gonna get a disc, sweep it, and have it ready for planting wheat back on it. And then next year, if everything goes good, the wheat ground will be cotton. And this ground, if the corn works out the way I think it's gonna work out, the Milo ground we're gonna put back in corn. So we're just gonna see how it goes and go from there. Now you can see water's running through it. I can show you. Water! We have this well rigged up to where I got a spider on me. Hate spiders. We got we got that well rigged up to where we can fill up our water tank when we come up here. This place is the furthest place away from home we have. Just so happens I'm the one that farms it and I live the furthest away. So we rigged that up to where we can fill up our water trailer, and it is 700 acres, so it is quite a big piece of land, and we just don't want to give it up. And I want to buy it, and I just bought a pivot 2 miles down the road, hopefully. So we're gonna go ahead. I can hear it now, so we're gonna go ahead and start this booster pump. It's kind of loud. It gets louder when the water comes. Then, the one good thing about this Ranger is you can drive over this Milo and it don't hurt it, versus you drive over it with the truck and it does hurt it. So, yeah. We're gonna go start the rest of these pivots. I'll show you the pivot we just got done working on. Show you what it kind of looks like after we dig it, get it fixed. What? So I have a different guy doing my standpipes this year. I used to have one guy doing the water leaks last year and everything, and I kind of went a different route this year. So we're gonna see how this goes. But that's the new style standpipe I'm getting. This was the old style. So this part right here would be going to the well with the thing, and that was on it, and it was big and bulky. It didn't need to be like that, so I got this guy to come do that. This was just wasting a lot of money. That's saving money. You got to do the cost comparison. So that actually weighs quite a bit, so I got to come with my little tractor that's sitting over there and pick all this up. And it does look like they have... Yep, they got it all open and everything, so they just got done fixing this one this morning. They left all these ruts. It flooded out there, I got stuck. So we're gonna kind of come smooth it up with the tractor. And okay. Like, I mean, they're pretty deep ruts with the backhoe. So we're gonna come smooth it up with the tractor before we disc it. That way it'll move some of that dirt around and make it nice and level again. But look at her go. It's not animal abuse when she loves doing this. If that dog, all she could do is ride in a pickup and run around on the farm and just go to water whenever she wanted it, she'll be in that pivot when I get that pivot turned on and it starts shooting out water. She'd do it all day, every day. She loves it. So this well that I'm pulling up to, they came and fixed it, didn't fix it the right way, all kinds of stuff. So they had to come back out. They got it fixed. Those boys up there, they do a good job. I don't know what happened to them not getting it fixed the first time, but I was gonna say, well, they didn't get it fixed this time either, but they did. So I got water coming through there, got water going through that sight glass, so I know it's going in the hole. But they came out and fixed it once, didn't get it fixed again. I had to wait on them for about a week or two. I wasn't in no hurry, it rained, so they do a good job. They're not that expensive, so I'll keep using them. So I'm gonna go turn on these other two wells. There's nothing to talk about really over there, and I'll be back to the pivot and hopefully it's all running. So this is gonna be a little bit of a rant. They came and put these signs out on my land without me knowing. And they happen to put this sign where I can't even close the gate. So we're gonna rip it out with the pickup. Some people and their kids, I tell you what. All right. So we got all the wells started. It's pumping. All about 850 gallons a minute. Pivot's running. So what I checked. Got a water leak up there. What I checked for now is the pressure on my line. It is sitting at about 8 pounds, which is not good. That's too much pressure. That's too much pressure for the line. If it does that for a while, like I'm talking hours, it'll probably bust the line. So get my screwdriver out. We're gonna go relieve some pressure, and more than likely we're gonna get wet. Happens every time. put the screwdriver in there. There's a little ball in that. Push it down. Let all that pressure bleed out. Ha! It'll go back up. We'll have to relieve it again. It's going back up pretty quick. Also, some of the pressure does go down when you finally walk out there and clean your nozzles. Okay, now it's below 5%. We're gonna get my tool that I use to clean out those nozzles with. I'll keep this on the truck. We'll probably need that later. So the little tool I use to clean the nozzles, where's it at? Right there. What it is, it's just an O-ring pick. Fits perfectly inside some of those nozzles. So we're gonna drive out through there and start cleaning some nozzles. What I like to do first is I like to drive from the end tower inward, so when I'm done, I'm already right here and I could finesse all that to where it's working perfect. So we're gonna drive to the end and I'll see y'all when I get there. So I don't know if you can tell the difference, but this whole end tower is not growing as good as the rest of the towers, which tells me two things. It's not getting enough water, or it ain't planting near as good and it's at a lower population. More than likely, it's because it's not getting enough water. So what I will do is, all those nozzles are perfectly cleaned out. I'll slow the pivot down so it gets the water it needs. And it looks to be running good, so I'll slow it down to where it gets the water it needs and see what happens then. This Milo really don't need the water, but the pivot's so far out in it, I'm just gonna let it get a drink where it's sitting at. Once it gets to this corn over there, I'll slow the pivot down to where it's putting an inch down, and it will be over here quicker than a lot of people think. But I'm gonna go fix this nozzle real quick. I'll try to put y'all in a space where y'all can kind of see it. I don't know if I can make that work. I don't know how to make that work. Okay, y'all can kind of see me. only thing with doing all this is you get soaked, which feels good when it's 100 and something degrees outside. So I'm really not complaining too much about it, but it is what it is. Then we just drive through here, and like I said, this Ranger, it doesn't mess the crop up when it's this small. It pops right back up. So we're gonna go through here, check all these nozzles, make sure they're all okay. While I also check the nozzles, I'll make sure the hoses are good. There's no water coming out of the hoses. I'll make sure the tires are aired up, because if the tires aren't aired up, I'd wait till it to get to over there, and I'll air the tires up when I'm not running over the crop. But so far it's looking good. I still got like 10 more towers to go, but ever since I switched this pivot from that pond to it's going directly into the pivot with the booster pump, I've had about 95% less nozzles plugged up. Used to be like the first 10 towers, and then the last 6 would not be plugged up. Like every single nozzle plugged up. So that's saving me time with just having that. I did the cost benefit, whatever. It'll take me 3 years to have that pump paid off. But in those 3 years, I should be growing a 10 times better crop because I don't have to turn the pivot off to fill the pump up. And then like on these little end towers right here, see, we call that an end tower before it starts the next tower. These hoses like to get wrapped up in them, so you just have to come and pick them up. Ugh. So we're gonna keep on trucking along through here. With this Milo, I'm hoping it makes 5,000. If it makes 5,000 pounds, I'd be awfully happy. If it makes 5,000 pounds and I make 200 bushel corn, I will be very, very happy. If I make 150 bushel corn and this makes 6,000 pound Milo, I'd be very happy with that too. So it's whatever crop's gonna do the best, that's what I'm gonna be planting next year with my cotton, sorry. Cotton doesn't take near as much water. It does take a lot more. You have to care for it a lot more, but don't take near as much water to grow 4 bell cotton. So I'm gonna clean this nozzle out real quick. So peaceful. So that nozzle's cleaned out. That was on an end tower. I have those set a little different, so they do clog a little bit more. I got them set to where they're not putting out near as much water. I did have problems with the pivot getting stuck. So by doing that, the pivot don't get stuck. But it also means that one row on either side of those tires doesn't come up and doesn't grow very good. But in return, it does save me quite a bit of time because it's not getting stuck and I'm not having to stop it, wait for it to dry up, dig it out, start it again a couple days later. So it helps in the long run. Closer to the truck we get, the more sprinkler nozzles we have. forgot my phone back there. That would have been bad. This will probably be like a 2-part episode, starting the pivot, and then working on the, that one's still good, that one's good, and then working on the swather. This first tower is dry land, so I don't care if I run over it or not, even when it gets taller. So now we got that done. Put my tool in here because I use this for everything. It is running a lot smoother. You could already hear it. It's running a little bit more pressure than I'd like it to, so we'll do that and see what happens. Most of the time, if you can get it below 5, you're good. That's with everything fully open, so I'm pretty happy with that. Pumping about 900 gallons, which is perfect. So there's that video. We'll see you in the next one when I'm working on the swather. But that's it for now. I'll see y'all in the next video.